Namaskaram, everyone. Good morning. Thank you for attending this mindfulness workshop. This is session 3 of the 8 session series from our yoga guru, Sri Manoj Joshi ji. We had 2 wonderful sessions last 2 weeks. So both those sessions are uploaded, the recordings of them on the YouTube as well as Facebook. If you go to either of them and search for Rotary Club of Silicon Andhra, I put that message in the chat also. So you would be able to see those both those recordings. And we will try to upload this one also in a day or two. So that way you can go back and you can watch it multiple times and get better at it. The whole point that we are trying to do this is to make the community aware of the things that the centuries old science and then the yogic practices that we want to bring it to you through the Rotary Club of Silicon Andhra community services track led by Sonia Sidhuji and Sim Gopalan. So thank you. And at the end, we will have a little bit, one or two more announcements. So please stay back. And if you have any questions, we can certainly talk about all those questions towards the end. So I'm handing it over to Manojji. Thank you, sir, one more time for taking time and then coming to Rotary Club of Silicon Andhra to help us.
Thank you, friends. Let's begin with our slide share. If you have any questions, you can always put it on the chat box so that we can reply to those. So mindfulness in action. So your health is in your hands. This is the third session as Raju just talked about. So just a recap, like on the week 1, we talked about setting goal, how to build self-awareness, and how to reinforce that goal, how to move forward to achieve our dreams. We just talked about that in the first week, and we gave some practice sessions. Week 2 was about stretching, about different ways how we can stretch our body, what is the concept of yoga, how it helps us to stretch our body and mind. We can do a little bit of recap on that. So for example, like one of the ways that we can stretch according to Vedic astrology, according to Vedanta, or according to the Vedas, it's like our body has got 12 major doors. So every joint is referred to as a door in our body. So this is a very simple technique to stretch all the body, is to open up the joints. So just like imagine like you're opening up a door. If the door is not open for a long time, the door will be almost defunct. So in order to make it operational, we have to keep opening it, keep closing it, so that the more we close and open and then try to put some lubrication, so it will have more longevity. So likewise, our body has got 12 major doors. So once we learn how to do the proper stretching of opening of the joints, then it will be good for a longer time. For example, let's keep the hands in the front and then try to open up the finger joint. So just close it tightly and open them up. This is giving an example of how we can work with your joints. So close and open, just like that, just about 10 times, 20 times you can do it. That will improve the blood circulation around the joints. It will stretch the muscles around it so that it will keep our muscular health, keep our joints health more in a positive way. Likewise, for example, for the wrist joints. So you can put your wrist joint either forward, backward positions, or you can also move them clockwise and counterclockwise. So that's another technique. So a lot of joints are open for both these movements, forward and backward movement, and clockwise and counterclockwise movements. So I've got a routine that I would like to send it across this by email. So where you can practice about 25 minutes of deep opening up all the joints in a sitting down position, starting from the toe joints to the ankle joints, to the knee joint, to the hip joint, waist joint, then your spinal column twisting, then finger joints, wrist joints, elbow joints, shoulder joints, and the neck. So this is a very good routine for about 20 minutes. If you do it at least once in a year, from the head to the toes or from the toes to the head, it will lubricate the whole body. I call it, our body is like a car, and it's almost like taking for a 90,000 mile service. So it will do all the oil change, check the brake fluid, all the internal organs will reflush them and then replenish with more prana. So all those things are very powerful. So the stretching part we could not do it because our class is limited to 1 hour. So in the second week, I was supposed to teach more stretching, but we talked about the yogic aspects of it. What are yamas, what are niyamas, what are the values of yogas, and how we can lead a wonderful life like a yogi or yogini by following some scriptures, by following some prescriptions given to us by the sages. So that's the second week. The third week, today we are talking about the breathing, which is a very important aspect of yoga. In the Ashtanga Yoga, we talked about yama, niyama, asana, pranayama. Pranayama is the breathing part. So today we'll talk a little bit more about the breath part. So let's begin with a chant. Please keep your palms together, keep your eyes closed. Om Sahana Bhavatu, Sahana Bhunaktu, Sahaviryam Karavavahai, Tejasvina Vaditamastu Ma Vidvisavahai. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. So the meaning of this prayer: may the universe protect us all. May the universe nourish us all. May this workshop, this webinar be fruitful and enlightening. May there be no discord, no disharmony among each other. May there be peace. Om, peace, peace, peace. Nice. Gently open your eyes. So again, a recap from the week 2, we also talk about one of the basic building block of our body and everything else in the entire universe is these 5 layers. The outermost annamaya kosha, the physical body, which is created out of the food that we have consumed. The next layer is pranamaya kosha, the energetic body, which is created or composed by the prana that we create. The third layer of our body is our mind body, the manomaya kosha, which is all around thoughts, ocean of thoughts that we all are bundled with. And the fourth layer is our intelligence layer, which helps us with the power of discriminating, or power of discerning, or power of knowing what is real and what is not real, to make a good judgment, make a good decision. So that's the power of intelligence, Vijnanamaya kosha. And finally, our blissful body, our spiritual body, the innermost layer of bliss and happiness, the source of happiness, the source of joy, the source of all the power, that is our Anandamaya kosha. Most of the time, we dwell in the physical body, Annamaya kosha, 99% of our life, we remain in the body consciousness. That is where all the stress, worries, anxiety happen. And yogis tell us, if you go to Anandamaya kosha and then change your address from the physical body, you give your new address to Anandamaya kosha, then you can remain in Anandamaya kosha all the time. And you almost like outsource everything to your body, to your mind, to your emotion, to do all this work in this world. That's what yoga helps us to transcend from the physical Annamaya kosha to the blissful Anandamaya kosha. And today we'll learn one more secret of how do you really get in there. What is the ticket for getting there? So today we are going to explore the correct formula for the breath that will fuel us towards moving towards success. Now, before that, I would like to engage into a small activity of asking this question: where is your mind? Because very often we don't think about this. I lead a lot of workshops and ask thousands of people, and everybody has different answers. So I would like you to write it down on the chat box, and we can just read a couple of them, just like last time we did the breath practice. So please write down, where do you think your mind is? Rajesh, why don't I see the chart? Do I see the chart? Oh yeah, I see the chart. Okay, good. Okay. I'm looking at the physical address, just like, say, for example, and somebody asks who doesn't know about yoga at all. He says, hey, I can know where the brain is, but where is my mind? What is the physical address of the mind? Where exactly is it located? Is it within the body? Is it within the brain? You know, we can say like, no, my mind is in office. Somebody says the front of the brain, the whole body, the thoughts in the brain, right? So if you think about, very good, I think very good exercise that everybody has given their inputs.
I said surrounds the brain, surrounds the body.
Surrounds the body, like means it's outside the body, you're saying?
Yeah.
Not inside the body?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, that's good. So everybody has got their own viewpoint. But if we look at, where, say, for example, right now we are here, like you are in your respective home, somebody in Fremont, somebody in Cupertino, somebody in some other place. So wherever we are physically, we say that, hey, I'm here right now. If somebody calls, where are you? I'm in Walmart, I'm in Costco, where your body goes. But similarly, if I think about wherever my mind goes, I'm also there. Like if you think about India right now, my mind goes to India. If I think about Australia right now, my mind goes to Australia. If I think about England, my mind will immediately go to England. If I think about the moon, my mind will go to the moon. If I think about a different planet, Mars, my mind will immediately go there. So wherever my mind goes, I'm also there, because I'm not just a physical body. I have got out of the 5 components, my mind also plays a major role. So if I go from the body consciousness and then try to give importance to my mind, so that means wherever my mind, I'm also there. I say, sometimes we make a statement, hey, I don't know, where is my mind? Oh, my mind is not here, right? So that means my mind is also moving around. That just like a physical body moves, our mind also moves. So that means wherever I can take my mind will go there. If I think about the entire universe, my mind is already holding that universe in the mind. So if you ask a Vedantic person, they will teach you in a different way. Say, for example, if I show my phone, I'll say that my phone is in my hand, and ask this next question, where is my hand? You will say, my hand is in my body. Then I'll say, where is my body? My body is in this room. Where is this room? This is part of the building. Where is this building in Fremont? Where is Fremont? In California. Where is California? In North America. Where is North America? In the planet Earth. Where is the planet Earth? In the entire universe, in the universe. Now, ask this question, where is the universe? In the multiverses, whatever that thing that you can think about. But after that, if you go to the end of the question, it will say that where is, then you can say okay, can anybody answer where is the universe? I'm just curious. So that Surinder aap boliye, where is the universe? Right? So suppose you say that universe is in the space, because the space is the container and all the contents are there in the space. The space has got everything. Now the question the Vedantic will ask, that where is the space? And that is the most intriguing question. And the answer given is this mind, because everything that we can think is only a thought. Without thought, nothing exists. So all the thoughts are contents of the mind. That means if I can think about the space which contains the entire universe and the multiverses, that means my mind holds that space. Without mind, there is no space. So mind creates the space. Or with my mind, I'm able to comprehend that what is called space. So from that point of view, if you think about our origin, we started our journey with one tiny cell in our mother's womb. So one cell that created us. And from one cell, we created trillions and trillions of cells. So if you think about that, if there is one cell, and then we did not know that intelligence, how could it become 2? How could it become 4? How could it become 8? How did it create it? So from that point of view, you might think about that maybe my mind is also there in every cell, which is called the corporeal mind. If you think about a unicellular being like an amoeba has got only one cell and it does everything with one cell. Look at the virus, coronavirus. It's not even having one cell also. It doesn't have any cell, but still the whole world is locked down because of that. So every cell has our own mind. It's all scattered around. So that means the mind is everywhere. Right? So every cell in our body has a mind. So there are 76 trillions of cells in our body. Now, just imagine that coming to the point of suppose you're the CEO of a company, and then there is a project that you're launching. So what is the best way that we can make sure that the product is launched properly? So the simple answer is we have to communicate that goal, that product, that idea to everybody in whatever respect. In their own respective role, they must be knowing about what we're doing. If there is a change in the rule of the nation, the government must make every possible ways to communicate that new rule well enough in time so that everybody knows what to do. Likewise, think about, you are the CEO of a company where there are 76 trillions of employees reporting to you. I'm alluding to every cell in your body. So being the CEO of this huge company, you.com, if you have a goal, I want to be totally healthy, I am truly happy, and I am successful in my life. Suppose that's the goal. Or I want to make, $20,000 in this month, whatever that goal could be. How do you communicate that goal to every employee or every cell in your body? What is the technology? Remember in the first class, we talked about mantra, yantra, and tantra. Mantra is the software or the goal. Yantra is our body or the hardware. And tantra is the technology. And we all agreed that yoga is the technology. But what specific aspect of yoga should we employ to communicate this goal to 76 trillions of employees? We have got less than 8 billion people in the world, and we have not been able to educate all of them yet, after so many centuries. Now think about 70 trillions of people that you have to educate. What is the technology that we have to adapt? Now, while you're thinking about that, anybody has got any question? Maybe I can just think about the chart again. Let's just take 1 minute or maybe less than a minute. Let's see like if anybody has got answer to that question. What is the technology that we have to build to communicate to every cell in our body, our goal? Just please write down 1 or 2 creative answers, thoughts, focus, yoga. But look at 76 trillions of cells, and how much of time yoga we can do throughout the day. Because if you're not able to communicate your goal to all the cells, the new cells are coming up. And the old cells will again, forget about it. So it's a constant battle. Breathing, right? Somebody answers smartly, breathing, right? So breathing is a concept that is happening all the time, because we breathe one breath when we come out from our mother's womb, land in the planet Earth, like an alien. And then at some point of time, we'll all take one last breath. So the whole life is a series of breath from the starting first breath to the ending last breath. So breath being such an important aspect of our life, we hardly give any importance to our breath. So today, let's explore different aspects of our breathing. Now, if you look at the breath itself, every breath has got at least 2 major components. One is the inhale part, one is the exhale part. So one inhale, one exhale, inhale 1, exhale 1, inhale 2, exhale 2. So it is going on all the time in our life. So now think about how much of breath we should take in a minute. So let's do another activity. I will just do a stopwatch, and then I'll do 1 minute. I'll count 1 minute. And all you do is when you exhale, like when you breathe out, you count 1. Again, breathe out, 2. Breathe out, 3. Don't count the inhalation part, just count 1 exhale only. And then we'll count for 60 seconds, 1 minute. And then everybody will write down their number on the chat box. Okay? So not any pranayam practice, just normal breathing, but become aware of the breath and keep counting every time you exhale. Okay? Let's start. Ready? 1, 2, 3, start. Start counting your breath, counting your exhales. Good. Stop counting and continue to breathe. Now, please take a moment to write down what are the different numbers that you may have got. So 21, 17, 19, 15, 14, 12, 20, 6, 11, right? So the range is happening so much, like from 6 counts, 21 counts. So even though we are just taking 1 minute, notice that everybody's breath is different. Right? So if we look at this point right now, even somebody went to 23, right? If you're in a normal way right now, it's a Saturday time, you're happy and relaxed, probably had a nice breakfast, the breath is normal. Suppose think about the Monday when you go to work, or particularly after the night, the stress can go up. A lot of chronic stress. During the stressful time, our breath count goes very high, even 30, 40 counts per minute. In a chronic stress condition, the breath count is always higher. So how many counts we should breathe? So there was a study that people did and identified, because we all mammals or all the living animals, we breathe. So they thought about, like, it's a good idea to count the make a study of finding out how different animals breathe. And they found that the dog breathed the fastest. Dog breathe like a dog breathing. So today in the morning yoga class, I did a dog breathing exercise. So it breathes like that. Right? So it's just continuously breathe like a dog breathing, like 40 kinds per minute. And what is the longevity of the dog? The dog lives for 12 to 15 years. But on the other side of the spectrum, the turtles, the sea turtles that you can see, they breathe only 4 counts per minute. And then they live for 200 to 300 years. Now that gives a good pointer that if we control our breath and then try to make it a smaller number and make it smooth, make it more, then it will become a very good way to. So it will be a very good idea to breathe in and out in a proper way. Good. So did I skip like that? So that means, like, we should try to breathe like a turtle, very slow and smooth breath, and that will. Are you able to hear me? Good. So we should be able to take in a deeper, in an actual class, like, we take a little longer time to practice this kind of things. So I'm just giving a short version of, like, how to make a kind of a curious points, like, how you should breathe properly. So the point is, if you breathe slow and a little longer time, then our breath count will become a little bit more less, and then we can live longer. So we did an exercise on that. Let's see. So in another analogy that I'd like to give, like, say for example, if we all are driving cars. So, but you don't have to be an automobile engineer to drive a car, even though the car is so complex. The engines are there, and then some, there's so many different complications in the car system. But without knowing everything details about the car, if you know certain basic formula, like, what is the brake pedal, what is the gas pedal, what is the steering wheel, rear view mirror, with basic operational knowledge, you'll be able to drive a car, isn't it? So likewise, if you think about our body is also very complex, isn't it? How the brain works, how the pancreas secretes pancreatic juice, how the gallbladder functions, where is the spleen, all the different complications in our body, we don't know. But we are still riding this vehicle. This car that we're riding, without knowing, without being a physician, without being a psychologist, without knowing how the mind works, but we are still able to live our life with this body. That is because the nature has made it very simple. For example, like, if you want to think about your digestion, hey, I want to digest fast, I want to digest slow. There is nothing like a blender inside your tummy. Everything is all about chemistry, all about chemicals. And those chemicals are controlled by the breath. Every time we breathe in and out, in one single breath, the body creates about 400 different chemicals. So through those breath only, we control our digestive system. Through the breath also, we control our nervous system. When you're angry, your breath is different. When you're calm and relaxed, we are different. When you're sad, the breath is different. So through our breath, we also can control our emotions, just like the emotions controls our breath. So likewise, the breath is a very simple given tool given to us. If we control our breath, We control our mind, we can control our body, we can control our hormone secretion, we can control a lot of things inside the body. The healing can happen. That is why breath is very important aspect of our practice. But now the question happens, like, is the breathing same as prana? We are talking about pranayama. So the question is the breathing same as prana? Most of the time, if you go a little bit deeper, the prana is a little different concept than the breath. The breath leads to the prana. I'll give you a simple analogy. Like, think about a cable, like what you see in the picture. A cable represents a breath, which carries the oxygen. But the moment you switch on, the light bulb glows. That means the electricity passes through the cable. And that's exactly the similar analogy. When you are unconsciously breathing, the oxygen is also flowing into your body, just like the cable. But when you become more conscious about the breath, it's like switching on the light. The prana gets created. So there is a formula in the Sankhya Yoga. They call it Prakriti and Purusha. They are the two things. So Prakriti is the matter, all the objects that you see around, and Purusha is the consciousness that is within, that animates everything. So when the Purusha and Prakriti, they merge together, and that gives rise to the prana, or the life force. That means the matter and the consciousness, that gives rise to life force, or the prana. Prakriti and Purusha gives rise to prana. That's the basic formula. So that is why it's a very important aspect of understanding our breath. Suppose you think like a car or a chemical factory or whatever analogy that you can think about, it always makes a point to have a right formula for the breath. And in our practice of yoga, we recommend a formula called slow, smooth, long, deep, and conscious breath. So without going to much details about this one, if you just remember to breathe in slowly to the count of 4, for example, and breathe out a little longer to the count of 8. Take a little longer time to breathe out, and then become more conscious about the breath, because consciousness plays a very important role. Like when you're not conscious about reading something, when you're not mindful, you might read 10, 20 times the same paragraph, but nothing is remembered, nothing is retained. So we have to invest our consciousness. The more and more we invest our consciousness into any activity, the quality of that experience becomes very profound. That holds good for our relationship, that holds good for our eating, that holds good for our breathing, that holds good for our relaxation. So wherever we employ our consciousness knowingly, mindfully, the healing happens in our body and mind, and then balance comes to our body and mind. So that is the basic essence we want to talk about today. So right now, what we'll do is, like, we'll do we will watch a small movie which will have a similar formula for the breath, which I call a box breathing or a square breathing. It will have 4 components. You breathe in, breathe out a couple of times. Then after that, you breathe in, you hold the breath, and then breathe out for some time. Then you breathe in, breathe out, and hold for some time. And then again, combine everything together. You breathe in, you hold, breathe out, and hold. It's a very powerful technique. So in pranayama technique, they call it the time that you fill up your body with more oxygen or the more prana is the time that we call purak. You filling up, purak. When you exhale, it's called rechak. Rechan kriya, like excretion. You're taking out the toxins from your body, the carbon dioxide from the body. Likewise, when you hold the breath after inhalation, it's called sabata kumbhak. Something like aerobic oxidation. Think about the body creates energy when the air is filled inside. A different kind of chemistry happens, different kind of chemical reaction happens. And there is another stage that we can do after exhalation, when you empty your lungs without air and then you hold for some time. There's something equivalent to anaerobic oxidation. There are different things that happens also. So by the different permutation of combinations, as you have already talked about, the 5 elements, the earth element, the air element, the water element, fire and air, all those 5 elements, the Pancha Mahabhut, they become different chemicals in our body, different hormones in our body, and that gives rise to a good, healthier body. So that is how, in a nutshell, the breath formula, slow, smooth, long, deep and conscious breath, whether applied in a box breathing style or alternate nostril breathing style or any different kind of techniques that you might have learned about pranayama techniques, This is very important. This has to be constantly employed all through the day as much as possible. So we learn in different aspects of, in different sessions, like how do we reinforce this one? How do we think about this so that every time that we become a little bit more conscious about our breath? So we will learn all these concepts together. And after that, in our next session, of course, we'll talk about, so this particular breathing is very important to help us to move from the Annamaya Kosha to the Anandamaya Kosha, from the body to bliss, from a limited living to unlimited living. All these things is possible only when we employ the consciousness completely. So the more we become conscious and mindful about our life, about our goal, about our body, about our breath, about our relationship, in an empathetic way, we learn about the mindfulness techniques, the different traits of mindfulness. So when we employ everything together and become aware of things, that leads us from the gross to the subtle, from the body to the bliss. So now let's take this moment to watch this small movie, how to think about a positive solutions in any situation, wherever there is a problem, how we can employ the mind to find a solution. So that's the essence of this particular movie, along with the breath. And if you have any questions, you can ask right now, or you can always, write it down. Is there any burning question before I go to that part? Anybody has any? Okay, so we will watch it, and then after that we'll come back again.
Welcome to this walk-in transformation meditation program. Thank you for sparing 15 minutes of your precious time for yourself by doing this mindful relaxation, deep breathing, and an immersive meditation. I am Manoj Joshi, your guide to a healthy and productive lifestyle. Today, we will meditate on how to become solution-minded when we encounter any problems in life. While sitting down comfortably on the floor or on a chair, please enjoy the inspiring scenes of the nature and the engaging music. Please allow yourself to celebrate this present time, to retreat from the busyness of your life and relax. There will be 3 important segments in this session. First, we will try to let go of any stress and discomfort with some breathing practices. Second, we will learn and explore some concept or story to help us get transformed. And finally, we will sit in silence for some time and contemplate on how to move forward with the new insight gained from this experience. With this short span of relaxation of mind, you will be able to do more work with higher productivity and efficiency. Any one simple concept that brings an aha moment from this WIT program could potentially set you in a journey of transformation. Please continue to quiet yourself and make yourself comfortable. We will practice a square breathing technique today for 5 minutes to help you further rest and relax while giving your mind, your body, and your spirit a little time for refreshment. Very slowly breathe in and allow your tummy to buzz out a little bit in the front, and slowly and deeply breathe out and let it shrink back towards the spine. Feel the cool oxygen touching your nostrils as you inhale, and feel the warm carbon dioxide coming out of your nostrils as you exhale. So breathe in completely Fill up your lungs, tummy a little bit out to the front. And as you breathe out completely, empty your lungs and let the tummy shrink back towards the spine. Breathing in, tummy out. Breathing out, tummy in. Inhale to the count of 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale to the count of 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Again, inhale to the count of 5. Tummy out. Exhale to the count of 5. Tummy in. 2 more times. Breathing in. Breathing out. Breathing in. Breathing out. Now, breathe in to the count of 5. Hold your breath to the count of 5. And breathe out to the count of 5. So breathe in. Hold. Breathe out. Breathe in. Hold for 5 counts. And breathe out. 2 more times. Breathe in, count of 5. Hold, count of 5. And breathe out, count of 5. Inhale. Hold. Exhale. Now, breathe in to the count of 5. Breathe out to the count of 5. And hold your breath to the count of 5. So breathe in. Breathe out. And hold. Breathe in. Breathe out. And hold. 2 more times. Breathe in, count of 5. Breathe out, count of 5. And hold or stay without breath, count of 5. Inhale. Exhale. And hold. Now, putting it all together, we will do inhale, hold, exhale, and hold, like the 4 sides of a square. Breathe in to the count of 5. Hold to the count of 5. Breathe out, count of 5. And then hold again to the count of 5. Breathe in, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold your breath, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Breathe out, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And hold, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 2 more times. Breathe in. Hold your breath. Breathe out and hold again. Inhale, hold, exhale, hold. Take a couple of normal breaths. Breathe in, breathe out. Your whole body is now very relaxed from toes to the head. Your breath is relaxed and your brain is relaxed. You're able to let go of all unwanted stress and anxiety. Your mind is now relaxed, calm and peaceful. As you're watching this beautiful nature with your eyes gently open, please continue to feel that calmness and peace. Vast open sky, the beautiful ocean, the trees, the clouds, the mountains, all adding up to your experience of this calm and peaceful mind. One man was happily traveling on the highway by his car. It was afternoon time and he was just enjoying his driving. He was crossing the bridge over a river and suddenly realized some difficulties in driving. He could sense that he must have gotten a flat tire. He just managed to pull over on the shoulder and came out of the car to examine the matter. He found that the passenger side rear wheel was flat. He got really stressed out. He was frustrated that he had to fix the tire in such a hot and humid weather. After some moments of self-denial, he decided that there is no other way than fixing the car. He pulled out the jack and started taking out the 4 bolts from the wheel. He kept all 4 bolts on the side. He started pulling out the wheel and he had to apply some force. As he was doing so, the wheel bumped onto the side and all the 4 bolts fell into the river. Now the person got terribly stressed out. What will happen now? Now I can't fix my car. How can I drive forward? How can I reach my destination on time? Oh God, I'm so late. And on top of everything, it's so hot out here. I cannot see anyone around and I cannot even get any help. Oh no, why did this happen to me? I'm stuck. He was just standing out there utterly hopeless. And he was just not able to think clearly. Anytime he tried to think, just one thing ran over his mind, that all bolts have fallen into the river and I am helpless. After a long while, he noticed a farmer coming along. He started thinking whether to seek any help from him or not. With a mind filled with stress and doubt, he started thinking, what help can he really offer? Meanwhile, the farmer himself came closer to him and asked, Sir, you seem to be in some trouble. Please tell me if I can be of any help. Out of anger and frustration, he replied, I got a flat tire. When I started to fix it, all the bolts fell into the river. There is no car mechanic in the vicinity. And what help can you offer anyway? The farmer understood that the person is really frustrated due to the problem and the hot weather. He just smiled at him and told him, Sir, in about 5 miles from here, there is an auto repair shop where you can get your car fixed. And to go over there, you can do one thing. You can take out 1 bolt from each of the other 3 wheels and put those 3 in the wheel with a flat tire and go there by driving very slowly. Your problem will be fixed. That man became so relaxed, his anger subsided, and at the same time he was totally astonished and said, "Brother, I was so tense and struggling so much with this problem for an hour. And how come you came with this simple solution so quickly?" He apologized to the farmer for his anger and rudeness and asked, "How did you come with this solution so easily? Had you experienced similar problem earlier?" The farmer said, "Nothing like that. Just there is only one difference. In that situation, you were only worried about the problem, whereas I was thinking about the solution." So friends, the choice is yours. Either you can become problem-oriented or solution-oriented. When you focus on the problem gets bigger and bigger, and you get more and more stress and frustration and cannot think properly. However, when you focus on the solution in a calm and peaceful mindset, your mind will think about all possibilities to help you and present easy and effortless solutions at any challenging situation. Now, gently close your eyes and spend few more moments to contemplate on your perspective of being solution-minded. Visualize yourself getting into the best version of yourself, having a healthy body, a positive mind, and an uplifted spirit. See and feel yourself excelling in various roles you play and encounter many different transactions throughout the day. As the saying goes, where there is a will, there is a way. In every such transaction with different people and place, you are now committing to focus on the solution rather than the problem. If any personal situation comes to your awareness, please try to apply this new insight and create an inspired feeling in your heart as you spend few more moments in meditation. So friends, just by spending 15 minutes from your busy schedule, you are able to relax your whole body and mind. And with this relaxed mindset, you can always work more and longer with increased productivity and more efficiency. And when you practice to train your body and mind like this, even with your eyes open, you can also be able to relax completely. Now, I'm going to count 1, 2, and 3. And when you hear 3, you'll be totally awake, refreshed, and ready to move forward with a transformed spirit. 1. Now gently wiggle your toes, bring some movements to the fingers. 2. Become fully aware of your body, breath, and mind. And 3. Slowly open your eyes and welcome life with a renewed joy and excitement. Just like the sunrise, which brings newness and life to all things and beings in this planet. Thank you for spending time for yourself and doing this immersive meditation, being solution-minded. Have a peaceful and productive time ahead. Please invite few more friends next time to this walk-in transformation meditation and help us making this world a beautiful planet for health, happiness, and harmony for one and all. Namaste.
Does it feel like you take off to a different land and land on a plane? So how many of you felt really relaxed? It's almost very sleepy, isn't it? In the morning after breakfast, when you do that nice breathing, it feels very, you go to an altered state of mind altogether. So did anybody experience something deep relaxation through that square breathing technique? Good. Nice. Everybody saying yes and nice. That's great. So we'll have a few more times, like about 6 minutes right now left. If you have any burning question, I would love to answer. We talked very briefly about the formula for the breath: slow, smooth, long, deep, and conscious breath. In a real class, when people come for personal consultations, I elaborately discuss a little bit more depth about it. We measure different other aspects of a person, how the person breathes. And just for your reference, I would like to cite, I was practicing with the Himalayan master for about 8 months. I got the training. He taught me 576 ways that you can breathe. It's a big number, but there are different cycles of breath, different permutation combinations of the breath. And there's a whole science of breath and pranayama, which is much deeper. That could be customized for different diseases, different problems in our life. So that takes a little longer time to diagnose the problem and to design a breath program and record those, and then have a gradual program over a period of time to create more healing benefits. So, that's how.
There are some questions in chat. I will read them. One of the question is precautions people with cardio conditions should take while breathing.
Sure. So for any cardio problem, any kind of fast breathing is not recommended. For example, another technique of breathing that we teach is Kapalbhati Pranayam, which is Kapal is the forehead and Bhati is the light. But actually the engagement of the guts happens here. Like you breathe in through, breathe out through the mouth. It's a very active exhalation technique, like very forceful exhalation. So during the time that you are suffering from cardiac problem, you have to do it very slowly, maybe about very slowly breathe out, take a little slowness to breathe out consciously to throw out all the carbon dioxide from your body. One of the best techniques is to just simply breathe in, breathe out. The slow, smooth, long, deep breath can be employed anytime. So for heart problem, just deep breathing itself is very good practice. Without holding the breath, of course, like you don't have to hold the breath. But if you do it just like a little bit, that's good. But you have to really practice a lot of caution in that. A lot of doctors are also prescribing pranayama techniques right now. It's called heart coherence breath. So that really good for the health of the heart. So because oxygen is very much required and oxygen helps to heal every organ in our body. But applying the caution, not do it too excessively, doing a small amount of time throughout the day and becoming more mindful about your breath, becoming more mindful about your goal, that will improve the healing. So just do a little bit of trial and error to find out what is the right formula for your breath. And you feel comfortable with that, measure your success, like how do you feel, and then be your own doctor, at least from the breath point of view, and consult your own doctor and try to improve your breathing style.
Good, sir. Next question is inhaling and exhaling. Do we use the nose for both? In Pilates, they say exhale using mouth. Can you throw some light
there are
on
different, as I was telling about 576 breathing, because of the 5 elements that happen. So whenever you have combination of different breaths, like inhaling through the mouth, exhaling through the mouth, inhaling through the teeth, exhaling through the teeth, that has a different combination of water element, heat element, and all. So those are all different aspects of breathing. But in general, from a common point of view, if you breathe in through the nose and breathe out through the nose is used mostly as a breath organ because the nasal hairs are there that can warm up the air that you breathe in. So oxygen will be more warmed up by the time it goes to the lungs. And breathing out through the nose is a normal way of breathing. But in a special case, like when you breathe in, breathe out through the mouth, you're also able to throw out more carbon dioxide when you breathe out through the mouth. So particularly when you are doing some cardio exercise, when you're doing some exercise, when your breath is becoming a little bit more heavier, we call it a mukhadhoti, or a breath cleansing technique. Like for example, after 12 rounds of sun salutation, we will do a forceful breathing out through the mouth, but breathing in through the nose. So during those practices, special moments, you can always engage into mouth breathing out so that you can relax more by throwing out more carbon dioxide. But in a normal way, just in a normal way, slow, smooth, and long, deep, and conscious breathing can be employed through the nose only.
Next question, sir. When practicing these breathing techniques, should I keep my backbone straight or sit relaxed?
That's a very good question, because see, breath happens all the time. If you count 15 counts per minute, we breathe in out 21,600 times every day. So whether you're sleeping or sideways or standing and walking, the breath always happens. But when you're doing an exercise like a breathing pranayama technique or meditation technique, there are certain protocols that you have to follow, because there are different channels of the prana or nadis that get activated. So recommended path for doing the pranayama technique, particularly the Kapalbhati Pranayam or Nadi Sodhan Pranayam or Bhastrika Pranayam or Sahaj Pranayam. So whenever you're doing a scientific way or yogic pranayama technique, it is always recommended to keep the back set upright so that the energy will flow evenly through your spinal column and all the nadis will get the proper channel. But say, for example, when you're doing yoga nidra, you lie down to the ground completely, back is flat, and then a slow and deep breath. So depending on what you're doing, your back can be straight or you can also relax. So breath has to happen, but here we are putting more emphasis on conscious breathing, mindful breathing. But the answer is, when you're doing a particular pranayama technique, there are different protocols are given, different instructions are given. As I was talking about 576 permutation combinations. So you have to follow the right instruction and then do the correct breathing for that particular pranayama technique to expect the right benefit that you are expecting.
And we will take one more question, Manoj, final question here. Having to use masks these days, do you have any recommendation about this?
Well, I mean, that's a very good question. Mask is also like a filter kind of thing is happening, but deep breathing can happen. And then simple technique like this, holding the breath, when you practice it more, you can sustain through a difficult time. So for example, if you have to wear the mask for a longer time in a work situation or in a hospital situation, because you have already practiced it well enough, your breath capacity is way more, then you will not feel suffocated even with a mask. But if you have to wear the mask, just become aware of the breath, just become as slow and deeply as you can breathe in and out through the mask. So bringing that awareness itself adds more benefit even with the mask. But there are two things I'm talking about. When you practice the slow, smooth, and long, deep and breathing practice without wearing the mask at your home, your breath capacity will increase. So when you have to wear the mask, you can sustain through that difficulty a little bit longer time. And then bringing awareness of the mask itself, that it's helping you to protect you. So that will also bring in a positive mindset when you are compensating for the difficulties of wearing the mask.
Wonderful, so sir. We have Dr. Shubhadra Garu in attendance here today. She is a physician. She put a comment that she completely agrees with Manoj. And she also asks the patients to practice deep breathing, not just cardiac, but also pulmonary patients and post-operative patients. So it's wonderful, sir. So the science and then, the yogic things is, they're all pointing to the same thing. So it's wonderful. Thank you, Dr. Shubhadra Garu, for that comment. So we are running out of time. I will give our community services team, Sim Gopalanji and Sonia ji, if you want to have any couple of comments.
It was amazing, Manoj ji. I mean, I really did not anticipate these sessions will be like this, actually. So much of information, and even though we think that we know so many things, and then we already know that breathing is important, but the way you put it across, and then the way all these explanations of these complicated things which you have made is really amazing. And it was a very relaxing session this morning. And all three sessions were great, and really looking forward for the future sessions. Thank you very much.
So that brings up to the next question. Manoj, next Saturday for our session 4, we actually have a conflict. Our Silicon Andhras, Sri Hanuman Chalisa Lakshagala Parayan is happening.
Mm-hmm.
So I will talk to you offline, sir, and see if we could, maybe reschedule that 1 hour to maybe later that day or following day Sunday. And
Okay.
I will inform everybody through the email.
Okay.
So I will talk to you offline, sir.
Yeah. Let's figure it out time for the next Saturday.
So thank you. And if you like these sessions, please, spread the word, share with everybody, and encourage them to come participate. These are priceless sessions. And Manoj, thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Manoj. Thank you, everybody.
Okay.